quit.
Testing 1, 2, 2.
You threw your bass down and left. Well, that's when I got grown out of that.
Stormed down.
Well, I don't do that anymore.
No.
We'll have to pass the mic back and forth.
Just
From this
okay.
Okay. You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. My name's Thomas, and I'm talking with Chris Hillman, Roger McGuinn.
Johnny Sambataro.
And Johnne.
Sambataro.
Uh-huh. And you guys just played at the Warner Theater tonight. How'd you like it?
We're still here.
Did you dig the show?
Yeah, it was fun. It kept us on our toes, you know. We had about 85 things go wrong, and you know, it was like challenging to see if we could cover them, and we kind of did. At the end, you know, it really got off.
Okay, we gotta close that door again.
Thomas, you want to start over?
Yeah, well, just hang on to that. Hang on to that.
Okay, we got shut at Stain. Why don't anybody who's doing live? Not live.
Okay. An interesting thing is I just ran an interview with Richie Furay, and he was telling me how the Buffalo Springfield couldn't get back together, couldn't get the magic to work, and he was saying he'd heard you and Gene when you first started out doing a solo thing, and that was, what, about 2 years ago, and now you and Chris and Gene are playing together. What do you attribute that to?
The getting back together, or the making it work out good. Well, I think it's working out real well because I think the three of us have learned a lot on our own the last 10 years, for one thing. We all went off on our own directions and did our solo things and this and that. It was like going back to school in a sense, and we learned quite a bit. We're a little older now, a little more patient with one another, a little more respectful of one another. Things like that make it work, you know, and the thing that makes groups break up is when you lose that respect for your co-worker, you lose your sight of what you're really there for, you know. Raj?
I agree with that. I think we have matured, you know, mellowed out in some areas, and not that we're sitting on rocking chairs or anything, but we've become more professional. We know our craft better, and
It means more, doesn't it?
it does. It's more meaningful.
You know, here's an example, Thomas. Tonight here at the Warner Theater, we had so many broken strings and technical problems, but we overcame them and brought that audience to their feet, and there's nothing more rewarding than that, you know, to be able to overcome something like that, and, you know, I feel good about it tonight. I did. I had a ball, you know.
Me too. I enjoyed the challenge of being able to overcome these little
we even
problems.
winged a few songs. We weren't going to do Pretty Boy Floyd, but we did it in the thing. And the very first song we did was Sad Boy off the new album, I Broke a Bass String. Bang! You know, the very first out of the chute, you know, and it's tough to get over that when your equipment starts giving you trouble. But there's an example where we feel, hey, we got over that, and we're entertainers, and we're up on that stage, and those kids pay money to see us, you know. And I don't mean we have to do backflips or eat fire or put makeup on, but do what we can do the best, you know.
Absolutely right.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you
you're quite a bunch of troopers, man. I mean, you've outlasted so many
Show
bands.
business is in our blood, and ouch, I'm sorry.
Can't help it, huh?
I really love it. I mean, I always I get a kick out of all those 40s movies about, you know, like those show business movies, you know, like where you know, they're on a train or something, and something goes wrong, and the show has to go on anyway. And
That's
you know,
right. Or they the second is going to go on, the second study in the play, and
yeah, the
work it out at
understudy,
the end. Yeah,
stuff
right.
like that, you know. Or you know what? I really like the life story of a lot of those old people, you know. That
I love the ones where they're stars, and then they fall down into the gutter, and then bring themselves
and then they
back
pull
up
themselves up by the bootstraps
and make their
make it
comeback.
again. Yeah,
I love it.
I like that too. I can really identify with that somehow.
Well, I don't think really, but you know,
really.
I do look at the last 10 or 12 years as, let's say from 1971 or 2 when we did the Byrd reunion album. From then on, I think it was really a learning process for all of us individually. We all went off on our own. We all kept in good contact with one another. We all always have been friends. That's one unique thing. that we always have been very close friends. We might not talk to each other for a year or two. This is prior to our getting back together and being a group, but you know what I'm saying. And it's
That's
like
right,
there was a very closeness in that early Byrds.
Like brothers, you know.
It was, and we were kids, and we were running around, and we had success real fast, and things happened, and it broke the group up eventually. But we maintained a very close tie with one another.
I see. I used to watch you on Hullabaloo and Shindig and all. I'm a Beatle baby.
Well, we were watching you from the other side of the tube.
That's right.
Oh, thank you.
And you didn't eat all your dinner and stuff. We know.
That's right. We're going to make you eat all the dinners you didn't eat all those times.
Mommy dearest.
Let me ask you this, Roger. You have a knack for recording Dylan songs that he doesn't record, like Up to Me and Golden Loom. I love those songs. How'd you get a hold of those?
He gave them to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he's like another brother, you know. I mean, I don't see Bob for a year or two at a time, and then we get together and hang out, and you know, it's like we've never been apart from each other. So, I mean, you know, we don't even say that much when we're hanging out, but we have a pretty tight communication.
And you, Chris, you recorded Witching Hour, a song that Stephen wrote. I liked Stephen a lot.
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
Actually, Witching Hour was we recorded that in Manassas when I was in the group Manassas, and we never put it out, and I always loved it. And when I was doing my solo album, I said, Stephen, I'd love to do Witching Hour again. He said, do it. I don't think I'll record it for a while, so that's really what happened. Stephen and I have kept up a close, you know, rapport for years, and we're good friends. And in fact, Roger's good friends with Stephen. I mean, it's like a family. We all came out of that era. 65, 64, and I really got to put it in a nutshell. The Byrds in Buffalo Springfield launched more music and influenced more people, really, than anything else, I think, in that time period, you know. And if you think of the bands that came out of those two groups, the solo artists and bands, the Neil Youngs, the CSN, the Flying Burrito Brothers, the Pocos, the Eagles are the extension of all of that, you know. So it was a great time, you know, and we had a good time. The best part about it is we're all still friends and we're all still making music.
Yeah, and John, who is here with you, worked with Stephen on Thoroughfare Gap, right?
Yes. I did some background vocals with him and Dave Mason. Andy Gibbs was there, and he needed a little bit of help getting it together because Crosby and Nash had sort of left him there helpless. So we came in and helped him out and did some background vocals for him, and it turned out real nice. It's a good record.
Well, let's play something off the new McGuinn, Clark, and Hillman album. Do you have a favorite on there, Roger?
Candy?
No, not that one. We'll play that next. You have a favorite song?
Off the new McGuinn, Clark, Hillman album? Well, I mean, let's see. You got one, Chris?
Gee, Roger, let's, you know...
Play Backstage Pass.
Yeah, let's play Backstage Pass. Gene isn't with us right now, Thomas. And
So we'll just dedicate this one to Gino.
Yes, indeed. Let's
Gene
do
Clark, wherever you are, this is for you.
Okay, we're back. Backstage Pass reminds me of Rock and Roll Star, so you want to be a rock and roll star. There's something there. I usually play them back to back when I'm on the air. Was there any?
Well...
We're doing an interview.
Backstage Pass and Rock and Roll Star, I guess, no, they're not the same. There's a, you know, there's a similarity in that they're both about...
Going to Patti Smith, Patti, you know, has cut our song. Ours meaning Roger and I wrote it. But Patti has done the best, really, reading of where we were at when we wrote it. We were being very caustic with it. I look at it like the Monkees had just come out. I think, you remember when we wrote the song?
Well, I remember we were up at...
Be sarcastic.
We were up at your house and we were looking through 16 magazine or...
yeah, we were seeing all these...
No, it's Tiger Beat or one of those.
Yeah,
you know, and saying, wow, you know, look at the turnover in these pop groups. I mean, it's like there's a new one every 10 minutes, you know. And it just spurred us to think how easy it was, you know.
Yeah.
Any kid in high school who had the proper equipment and the proper attitude could make it as a rock and roll star.
Yeah. Of course, now it's such a saturated market. It's
now
tough.
everybody, you know, all those kids did do that. And, and they are.
But
or
I think what Patti Smith has done with the song is taken it a step further as far as what we meant. You know, I love her version. I don't know if you guys are.
What does she say though in the middle? I can't understand what she's talking
the narrative?
about. Yeah, what does she say?
Hey, you, come over here.
Yeah.
It's like she's trying to get it. She's everybody's a star. Everybody's going to participate.
she's
It's like living theater. It's like get up here and sing with me.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. We got good stuff. I can break that up and do all kinds of stuff with it. Roger, you are notorious for working on movies. Also, everyone knows you worked with Peter Fonda, and Easy Rider wrote songs for that, but you also worked on Candy. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. I do remember it. It was a thing I got into. Christian Marcon was the director, the producer, I guess, and director. And he was hanging out at Marlon Brando's house, and, you know, we'd all go up there and hang out, and, you know, he wanted us to do the soundtrack. He was a real Byrds fan from France. For some reason, people in France really dig the Byrds, you know, so we you know.
What happened to Christian Marcon?
I don't know, I haven't heard of him since.
He was an actor originally, did you know that?
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
I remember him.
Do you have any future projects in the makings you'd like to tell us about?
Well, the New American Graffiti 2 will have a couple of Byrds songs in it.
Country Joe came up with Barry Melton and told me they're in it too, in More American.
We have a project that's in the works. We can't really talk about it, but it will be hopefully a network type special covering certain facets of the West Coast music
It won't
scene.
be on CBS and it won't be on ABC. But we can't say anything.
We don't know what, but
no,
we
don't
have
know.
a very, very neat thing that's in the works that we're putting it together right now, and it's going to be great. Really, it's going to be really exciting. And,
It's just in the embryonic stages
exactly,
right now.
but there it is.
What were your major influences, like getting into music? How'd you guys meet? I mean, did you all sit around?
Elvis Presley, Pete Seeger, the Weavers, you know, the whole folk, you know, thing.
Any new music that you listen to that you're turned on to?
Yeah, the Knack, Blondie, Cheap Trick.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
That's great.
I like Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think is she really going out with him is one of the greatest lines. I think most of the new groups are getting back into like where Chuck Berry was at in the 50s, a teenage lyric in a sense, you know, but they had the pulse of the kid that's 15, 16 years old. I like
Ricky Lee.
Lyrically, you know.
I like Ricky Lee.
Oh yeah, I think she's great.
Yeah.
Link Ray is a real good friend of mine. He comes by the station like unannounced 3 or 4 times a year, and he just put out a new album. It's very good. I'm sure you know about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should listen to it. He gives me stamina to keep going.
Ray, Santo and Johnny.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Hi, you're listening to WHFS Bethesda.
I got those written out. We do one more thing.
Sure.
Woodstock, the anniversary of Woodstock, the 10th year anniversary is coming up.
Anniversary, 10 years after.
Have you got any comments about Woodstock, Roger and Chris?
No comment. I wasn't there really, so.
Didn't invite me either, so.
No, I'm sure I don't really know what to tell you about. I could give you something on Altamont, but I don't really think that's relevant right now. I played at Altamont, so.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
On that concert?
You're darn right. I went on right after CSM. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that the Burritos was the only band that calmed everybody down?
No,
We were in the movie.
I didn't see the movie.
Ah, well that's all right.
Pause after each one. Anyway, this is WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. I'd like to thank you, Chris, Roger, John, for talking to me. Maybe next time you'll come up to the station, play some records.
When we have more time, we'd love to.
Okay, if you just bang those out.
Is this Diane?
Diane, yeah, this will help get your record played.
And,
So, talk close to the mic.
and David, right?
Yeah,
okay.
you got it. Take your time.
Hello, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to Diane on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hello, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to David on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hello, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to Don on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening... What?
Do that one
Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to Don on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to Sarah on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. You're listening to Thomas on WHFS Bethesda, Maryland.
Thank you, Roger.
How come you got 4 there, Thomas. What does it say?
102.3 FM.
Oh. Hello, this is Chris Hillman. You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. 102.FM. I'm sorry.
Hold on, man. We're almost done.
102.3?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a point P-oriented.
This is
I see. Hello, this is Chris Hillman. You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. 102.3 FM on your dial. Hi, this is Chris Hillman. You're listening to Thomas on WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. Roger got 4 and I got...
You want to do some more?
Hey,
you
no,
can do
I
that.
went to the Columbia School of Broadcasting.
Did you really?
No.
You better do that other line, Chris.
Yeah, somebody does.
Somebody better do it. But I really do love Up to Me.
And Johnny, do one? Oh.
You know, and that's the stuff you do.
Do one.
Come on, man.
Lead guitar player. Do the Thomas one, Thomas. Do my last one. Let's say this is John Sambataro. I play lead guitar for McGuinn Clark Hillman. You're listening to Thomas. I don't even know.
Okay. Hello, this is John Sambataro from the McGuinn Clark and Hillman Band. You're listening to Thomas on WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland.
Do a straight one, you know, just for the whole station. You're listening to WHFS.
You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay.
This is John Sambataro of the McGuinn Clark and Hillman Band, and you're listening to Thomas on WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland.
And do a straight one, like the first one. You're listening to WHFS. Hello, this is John.
Hi, this is John Sambataro, lead guitarist from McGuinn Clark and Hillman.
I
You're
just
listening
did
to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. 102.3 FM on your dial.
Hello, this is John Sambataro,
Go.
Hello, this is John Sambataro, lead guitarist from McGuinn, Clark and Hillman. You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland, 102.3 FM on your dial.
Okay, thank you. Chris, if you guys see Steve.